Today I'm sharing my thoughts on the new MHW-3Bomber Blade R3 hand grinder. I came across a comment from a fellow coffee lover mentioning this product, and what caught my eye the most was its unique feature, a built-in sifting screen. I just had to try it out for myself, so I bought one. I've got quite a few of their products already, mostly accessories for espresso. Personally, I really like this brand. Despite the tricky name, their products are practical, affordable, and well-made. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more coffee gear reviews and brewing tips. First off, let's unbox this grinder. The packaging is quite simple. Inside, we have the manual in multiple languages, a brush, and here's the crank with a nice wooden knob. It's relatively long. These are pretty standard items for almost all hand grinders at this price point. There are 4 sifting screens here with different precisions, and 1 in the grinder. This is what sets this R3 apart from other hand grinders. Here is a magnetic lid for the catch cup. And here we have the grinder itself. The grinder is black and looks pretty good at first glance. It's heavy with no plastic parts. The grind cup at the bottom features a magnetic design. There are plenty of small magnets that securely attach it to the grinder. The lid is also magnetic, so after grinding your coffee, you can cover it and shake to sift the fines through the mesh screen. You can unscrew the bottom cover to replace different sifting screens. There are options for 300, 400, 500, 600, and 850 micron screens. The screens are well made, but the edges are quite sharp. Now let's talk about its grind settings. It features an external adjustment design, which I really like. I think this will be a trend this year and beyond, because it's very user-friendly compared to those using internal adjustment. The feedback from the external dial is great when you turn it. There's a red line indicating the current grind setting, with corresponding scales and numbers below. You can adjust the grind in 60 steps per full rotation, with 11 numbers to help you remember your setting. And these 60 settings aren't the limit. You can go beyond 1 full rotation. It can go 3 rotations in total. Each step changes the conical burr distance by 16 microns. That's a pretty fine adjustment and more than sufficient for espresso. You can fine-tune your grind by a step or 2 to refine your espresso shot without changing the flow rate drastically. According to the manual, the recommended pour-over grind size is between 90 and 130 clicks. That's quite a wide range. Let's try the setting in between. At 110 clicks, that's 1 full rotation plus 50 clicks. Each number on the scale represents 5 steps, so that's 1 full rotation plus 10 clicks. Doing this math early in the morning can be a bit tricky. Here's an easier way to understand it. Since 1 full rotation is 60 clicks, you can think of it like a clock. 90 clicks would be like 90 minutes, which is 1.5 rotations. 120 clicks would be like 2 hours, which equals 2 full rotations. 20 clicks would be like 20 minutes, pointing to 4 on the clock. This method makes it easier to understand the grind adjustment. However, once you go beyond 1 full rotation, there's no indicator of how many rotations you've done. For example, if your last setting was at 2 rotations, you can't tell just by looking at the dial. This makes switching between different brew methods a bit inconvenient. I've seen other grinders with an additional indicator for the number of rotations, which is more user-friendly. Now, let's grind some coffee beans and see how it performs for pour-over. For brewing pour-over, I'm going to use the 500 micron filter screen. I'm measuring out 15 grams of coffee beans to see how long it takes to grind. Thanks to the long handle, grinding is quite effortless. It took about 30 seconds to grind, which is fairly quick. That's a lot of static buildup since I didn't spray water to the beans, but it seems this grinder creates more static than others. Now, let's remove the catch cup, put on the lid, and give it a good shake. I know you're eager to see how much fines you've filtered out, but don't do it before pouring out the grinds. Otherwise, you'll make a mess, just like I did. Upon opening it, I can see there are indeed some fines sifted out. However, during shaking, it created some fine clumps that didn't drop to the bottom. So there must be more fine particles left in the grounds. Let's brew a cup and see how it tastes. I'm using an Ethiopian coffee that I drink daily, so it's easy to compare the results across different grinders. For comparison, I brewed another cup using the R3 grinder without the sifting screen. Comparing the sifted and unsifted coffee, the one with the fines is more complex, with higher and brighter acidity. The one brewed with sifted grounds is smoother and cleaner, with a pleasant acidity, but not as bright as the other one. It's hard to say which one is better. It depends on your personal preference and the beans you're using. Experiment with it and see what you like best. Now let's move on to espresso. According to the manual, the range for espresso is between 20 and 40 clicks, which is between numbers 4 and 8. The 16 micron adjustments are precise enough to fine-tune the flow rate just the way I want. I'll start with setting number 6. Spraying some water on the beans can significantly reduce retention and static. I don't need to sift the grinds for espresso, so I remove the screen. It's still easy to grind. Grinding 16 grams of coffee took about 50 seconds, which is reasonably fast. The grinds feel like powder. Let's pull a shot and see how it goes. This brand produces lots of great puck prep tools, such as this WDT, distribution tool, tamper, and the tamping station. They are very neat and save me a lot of hassle. The grind size is too fine, making it difficult for water to pass through the coffee puck. The shot takes more than 50 seconds to finish, so I need to go coarser. Switching to number 8, which is 40 clicks, the shot is too fast, finishing in less than 20 seconds. Now let's try number 7. The shot finishes in 27 seconds, right on target. Now I can fine-tune the shot by adjusting 1 or 2 clicks, finer or coarser, depending on the taste I like. Overall, I think it does an excellent job for espresso. It grinds fast, consistently, and offers a wide window for dialing in. While sifting sounds like a good idea, I noticed during my tests that the catch cup is relatively small, so the coffee grounds don't have much room to move around while shaking. If you don't shake it vigorously, it seems like only the grounds at the bottom get sifted. I also have a set of Groove sifters, which are quite professional. I'm going to use the same 500 micron filter, grind 10 grams of beans using the same grind setting, and shake each of them for 20 seconds. It's clear that the Groove sifter is more efficient because the coffee grounds have plenty of space to move around, allowing the fines to sift through more easily. More fines are filtered out with the Groove sifter. The goal of sifting is to remove some fines to make the coffee flavor cleaner and more pronounced. Removing all the fines doesn't necessarily make the coffee taste better. It can be messy and troublesome to sift coffee every time. Whether sifting fines improves coffee flavor is debatable. Some people like it for a cleaner, brighter taste, while others think fines enhance flavor. Some even add back a bit of the fines to balance the taste. This sifting screen design offers various possibilities for you to experiment with. It's not without faults though. After testing the grinder for multiple brews, I noticed a couple of user-friendliness issues that could be improved. The handle is harder to attach and remove from the shaft. It's too tight. When I pour the coffee grounds from the catch cup into the filter paper, there's a lot of residue left. It seems that more static generated during shaking causes fines to stick to the cup and screen. Even though the catch cup is magnetic, you have to align it perfectly vertically to attach it, or it won't fit properly and might scratch the cup. Plus, some particles fall at the edge after grinding. Unlike other grinders, you can't fully release the burr to clean it. There's a triangular screw that requires a specific screwdriver for disassembly. The lid for the fines is shallow, making it easy to create a mess on your table and adding extra cleaning work. And you have to pay attention. Don't unscrew the bottom before pouring the grounds out. As I mentioned before, you can't tell how many rotations you've made for the grind setting. These issues might make daily use less convenient. But for $80, the performance makes up for the flaws in user-friendliness. Overall, as an entry-level hand grinder at a reasonable price, the R3 is worth considering. The sifting screen is a nice add-on for those who like that detail, but you can still make great coffee without it. Sifting has its pros and cons, and I prefer not to add too many steps to my routine. As a daily grinder, I just grind the beans directly, but it's fun to experiment with on weekends. So, that's my review of the R3. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, or if there's another product you'd like me to review. Thanks for watching, and happy brewing!